Speaking of employment, Nick, I have to ask you, obviously the Deputy Lord Mayor of Melbourne, I was talking about working from home before. I doubt you disagree with me. We want to get people back into the CBD. I want people back in offices. How are things looking in Melbourne at the moment?
Well, I thought that was a magnificent editorial you gave there, Caleb. Thinking we might have to broadcast that on some big screens around the city, just so people get the message about the virtues of returning to work. So 3 cheers for that. But look, I agree with your analysis. I mean, work, getting back into the office is good for productivity, good for the organisation, but more importantly, there's study after study now showing that, loneliness, depression, mental health issues rise when people spend long periods of their lives working from home. So, for the good of Australia's cities, but for the good of our workforce and the people of Australia, it's important that people get back to work. Most businesses are people-centric businesses, and so to do your job well, you should be back in the workplace. It's how you get ahead in life. It's how you can get ahead in your career. It's how you can have a more meaningful working life as well, developing relationships with people which will, serve you over the course of your life. So, look, I think things are heading in the right direction, but we still have a way to go. I think Australia's doing a lot better. Australian cities are doing a lot better than some US cities. You look at like San Francisco or New York, they're still struggling, whereas Melbourne and Sydney seem to have come back more strongly than some of those other cities. Certainly the work patterns are different to what they used to be. We now find that Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday seem to be busy days. And here's an incredible statistic for you, an extraordinary statistic. Saturday and Sunday in the Melbourne CBD are now busier than Monday. So Sunday is busier in the central business district than Monday in Melbourne now.
It's pretty
just showing
extraordinary.
the change in behaviour that's happened.
It's pretty extraordinary. But Jenna, I find the loss of the Friday in the office is the worst thing, right? Because Friday was the day, if you didn't have to work the weekend, which in journalism in our world we often do, but, it didn't really matter. You'd come into work hungover on Saturday morning anyway. But Friday night was the night to go out with your colleagues, have a good time. We've kind of lost that now. I understand people want to be at home with their families. That's fine. But I think you basically live in the office. I mean, when you're up here in Sydney, you're down in Holt Street all day, and then you come in here. You may as well pull up a bed and live here. But I just find, why do people not want to go to the office? It cannot be that bad to go into the office and, God forbid, socialise with your colleagues.
Well, Caleb, I think the problem why my colleagues probably don't want to come to the office is because I talk their ear off, because I'm so devoid of human interaction, because I have to work with twats, as Nicola said, the Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday crew. Come into the office. I think we really miss that camaraderie. And like you say, the Friday after work drinks used to be a rite of passage, specifically for those of us in journalism. But I would even say, bring back the long Friday lunch. I think most of our CBDs around the country deserve it and are aching for it.
Oh, 100%. Bring back the long lunch. Bring back the long lunch. I'm 100% on board with that. While we're talking about being at home, there's a mob in Melbourne has started up what is basically work at home but for school. They're targeting this at students. This is St Joseph's Flexible Learning Centre in North Melbourne. They're targeting it at students who are suffering emotional distress. So they're saying, I don't want to go to school for whatever reason. It's students who are suffering with mental health problems, or their parents are going through a breakup or something like this. They don't want to get into the classroom. They've come up with a solution to basically give them the curriculum at home. But again, I think it's one of these chicken and egg questions, isn't it? It's like you don't want to go to school because you're worried you're in a social rut. So instead of getting you to school, doing everything we can to get you to school, we're going to give you everything at home so you don't have to go and socialise. It feels like the work from home thing. Christy, surely we've got to get people into social situations so they can basically learn how to be social again.
Well, how long have we been saying, according to every single study since the 60s and the 70s around socialisation of children, that school is the best place for them for other attributes that they learn and develop at school? A lot of those skills that they have around socialisation and engaging with other kids and learning how to work in teams. That's really important for kids. And virtual learning, we saw from the lockdown here in Melbourne, the world's longest lockdown, that kids were very developmentally disadvantaged from learning at home virtually. I don't think it sounds like an outsourcing cost-saving measure to me, because there are actually educational institutions that specialise in kids who don't engage in the mainstream school system.
Yeah, and it comes on the back of data from my schools, Nick, that basically shows last year the number of students, senior students who went to high school full-time dipped below 50%. I mean, that is an extraordinary figure, and it would be felt, I imagine, in Melbourne and Victoria more than elsewhere because you had all those long successive lockdowns. It's pretty clear something's got to be done.
Yes, I mean, I want to say from the outset that St Joseph's in North Melbourne, it's in the municipality of the City of Melbourne, so I know that school well, and it is a very good school, and so viewers should know there'll be good people and some good thinking behind this program, and I guess where it starts is the point you've just made, the fact that 50% of kids only are turning up 90% of the time now, so absenteeism is sky high. So this program is not the end in itself, it's sort of a means to getting to an end, and so we don't want kids to abandon their education completely. So this is about engaging kids again in the education system, trying to get over some of these anxieties and creating that pathway back for them into the schooling system, because as you've said, there's a lot of other benefits that come from attending school, not just learning reading, writing and arithmetic, but all the social skills you learn, your ability to get on with the other boys and girls and be part of the world, part of the village, part of the tribe.